All right, so we want to show you the upper coilover mount, the cross member, and the mounts, how things turned out. We didn't show you every last detail to what's going on, but I want to show you and kind of explain a few things, like what are these white things. Basically, those are just some piece of junk material that we had kicking around in the back of the shop, and we just made them into literally some coilover mounts that would serve as the coilover itself in order to bolt everything up and make sure that everything is in alignment. And so we did just that. We've got this lower mount is the correct thickness on the bottom, correct thickness on the top. We got bolts running through there, so that way it held this cross member in its proper spot as it will be when bolted up with the coilovers. And so it serves the purpose. We got it tacked. All the measurements were double checked, and it really turned out good. Okay, so one of the steps we need to take care of is we need to see the frame. And seeing the frame, if you've never heard about it, is basically just that. We're gonna put a notch in the frame in the shape of a C. We turned this up, this heavy wall piece of tubing, in the lathe to the correct ID and OD to give us a decent amount of clearance around the axle. And basically, this is going to be installed into the frame right here to create additional clearance for when our axle suspension comes up. We've got 2 inches of up travel, and we've allowed an extra 3/4 of an inch or so, 5/8 to 3/4 of clearance to make sure that the axle, if it completely bottoms, will not hit the frame. So basically, we're just seeing the frame for additional clearance. So we're using a laser level to actually locate where our lines need to be on both sides at the same time, both for our center line that we drew on the inside and outside of the frame rail, as well as the bottom, so we'll know where to cut with the plasma. All right, so we didn't show every last detail of welding and sanding and grinding these C's, but you can see that they look beautiful and they're nice and lined up to the axle center line. Probably can't see it in the video. And then you're probably wondering what this is about. It's just a temporary panhard bar, because with the parallel 4-link suspension, there's nothing to keep it from wiggling all over the place sideways. So we just tacked a little bracket, got right and left hand threads, so it's adjustable, so you can kind of dial it side to side, and it will make for an easy dial to width in with the actual wheels and tires once we get the rims. So part of our engine transmission install is these really cool billet mounts from Chassis Works, and steel transmission cross member, and these cut to fit frame mounts to catch the cool billet mounts. So that's what we're up to next. All right, it's time to uncrate the LS3 long block. It's exciting. And then we're eventually going to marry it up to our empty transmission case, and we're going to set those two in the chassis in order to get our transmission and engine mounts all dialed in and tack welded in place. So on the time lapse, I installed that empty transmission case and this nifty lifting device for the engine. Almost called it a motor. That's a no-no in my opinion. It's not a motor, it's not an electric motor. It is an ICE, internal combustion engine. So it's an engine. Now that the mounts are installed, we're setting the engine in the chassis. We're dealing with three things: front to back, to make sure the serpentine drive and components clear the radiator and electric fan, and the up and down and engine angle, to make sure we have enough ground clearance. After much fooling around measuring and double checking clearance issues, I think we have it set where it needs to be and can continue on with cutting and fitting the mounts. But first, some cool parts show and tell. Check out what showed up today. Edelbrock, eye candy for the top of the engine. Time to get it unboxed. Let's go. Dun da da da! Oh, beautiful. There we have it. And we know from a previously obtained dimension that it will fit under the hood nicely and look really sweet on top of the engine. We're fitting the tranny mount first, which is a bolt-in style, but has permanent weld-in side pieces. The right side is almost perfect and only needs a slight tweak to fit. The left side needs to be machined, however. So we're off to the milling machine to notch the tubes to the correct diameter and angle, as the engine is sitting in the chassis at about 3 to 4 degrees. In order to hold the end pieces at the correct angle, I drilled and tapped a piece of plate aluminum and clamped it in the vise at the correct angle. Using a boring head and boring bar, I machined the end pieces. A grinder would have worked in this situation, but it's much easier and more precise using a milling machine. Okay, after a bunch of trips back and forth to the milling machine, we've got this transmission mount completely dialed in, really nice tight fit, and ready to tack weld that and move on to the engine mounts.